Some of you may be familiar with Miyamoto Musashi. He was a Japanese swordsman in the 15 and 1600s. Not this guy. This guy. He wrote the Book of Five Rings, which is about the way of strategy. Now, in InfoSec, many of us have no strategy at all. Or if we do, it's to be stuck in a rut. But not this kind of rut. This kind of rut. We're stuck in a rut in our job, our career. We don't seem to be moving forward. There's no opportunities or options available to us. And so we become apathetic, discouraged, disillusioned, disenfranchised, disgusted, disgruntled, frustrated, maybe even angry. And we blame the job. We blame the company. We blame the career, the industry, society, or even the government. After all, they're spying on us, right? So we get to a point where we're fed up and frustrated, and we just jump ship looking for something else. Not always in a good way. But there's a distinct and subtle problem with our approach, with our lack of strategy in this area. And that is that in InfoSec, we have this really bad tendency, when we jump ship, to do so to the exact same job, just in a different company. Now, we justify it. We say it's a different company, it's a different title, there's different roles and responsibilities that go along with it. And to an extent, that's true, but it's also not true. We end up still being frustrated because we didn't actually change anything. We didn't get to the root cause of the issue, as important as we know that is, and we didn't change anything with our overall status. The rut goes on forever and the party never ends. So we get to a point that we're so frustrated and fed up that we quit the industry as a whole. We say that we're burnt out and we just need to take a break from InfoSec. So we look for something else to do. We look. We try. But really the problem all is part of Newton's laws, and that is that objects in motion or at rest tend to stay in motion or at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. Now, my hope today is that I can be an outside force for you all. And no, I'm not a recruiter, and no, I'm not hiring. John Turner, however, is, so you can talk with him. I say this because it doesn't have to be that way. The future isn't written in stone, people. It can be bright. We can wear shades. We just need to embrace the way of strategy. And Musashi wrote that in order to become the master of any one thing, you need to become the master of all things. And in addition to being a master, undefeated swordsman, he was also a sculptor, a poet, an author, a painter, a calligrapher, and the list goes on and on. He wasn't a guy that just talked the talk. He also walked the walk. Speaking of which, I'd like to introduce you to Shelley Giesbrecht. Last year at the summit, Shelley gave a talk titled 10 Ways to Rock Your Sock. In it, she discussed 10 ways or things that she felt you needed to master in order to improve your security operations. And that wasn't even her dream job. She has since leveraged that experience to get a completely new, different job with a completely new, different company, doing completely new and different things that she completely loves, and that is completely awesome. So before you get frustrated, bent out of shape, and quit a job, company, career, industry in a huff, realize that there's a way that you can avoid the risk of rut and burnout. Know the ways of InfoSec. Know the ways of all professions. Look for things that you can do where you are right now, that you're passionate about, that excite you, that interest you, and in ways that will benefit both you and your employer. I got into digital forensics because I couldn't stand working in technology any longer. I would say that I was burnt out. But I had a couple of bosses that really encouraged me to find something in that area that I did enjoy. And since I wasn't looking for a career with the hacking team, I found digital forensics, and I've never looked back. I will also say, in all honesty, I don't care that much for InfoSec. It's not that exciting to me. It's a job. That's okay, though. There's benefit in that. When I moved from consulting into corporate, I saw an opportunity to bring with me the things that I did enjoy: digital forensics, incident response, even e-discovery. And in doing so, I've been able to save my company literally millions of dollars. That's good for the company. I've also gotten visibility and recognition up and down the stack in our company. That's good for me. But more importantly, I've had the opportunity to learn and to grow in new ways that are completely outside the core competencies of DFIR. And that's been incredible. Now, every job, every situation, every person is different. So I will say, and I'll finish with this, quit your job if you must. Alyssa's going to talk about some of that in a little bit later. But I would urge you, don't quit your job just to talk about, just to go to the same job at a different company. That doesn't serve a purpose. Be strategic. Follow a new way. Thank you.